Welcome to Gregorian Chat.
I like it like that.
I said I like it like that.
Gregorian Chat, the podcast where you're not gonna sit there thinking about this. No. Welcome to Gregorian Chat is a podcast where we talk about the things that are happening for young Catholic people.
Yeah, well, that's what we try and do anyway, yeah. We definitely talk about all sorts of other things. By the way, if you're watching these for the first time, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, welcome. We've done like a series of we've just finished a series on is the Catholic Church homophobic, and that was very, very interesting, very eye-opening, and very confronting. I quite enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. So now we're going to bring something a bit more
lighthearted,
a bit more lighthearted, a bit more a bit more Gregorian chat.
And what is it? What is it, Dom?
We're going to be talking about self-promotion and boasting. Discourse on false humility.
It's going to... I'm looking forward to this one.
Discourse.
Oh, that's right.
And Shana coming up strong with a pun in the middle. So we also were singing Cardi B for the intro because Shana's on a Cardi B vibe
I'm
today.
so obsessed
and
with her today.
I don't know.
We've done some Cardi baking.
Yeah.
Had some
But
Cardi
we
beans on
were
toast.
speculating as to what the B stands for.
I knew this.
Well,
I don't know.
I isn't it because she wanted to be called Bacardi, but she couldn't get the copyright
Yeah,
for it,
probably.
so she got
And her sister's
No.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
B-Cardi.
Yeah, like Bacardi, like Breezer, you know.
So the Cardi boasting thing is out the window.
Yeah,
it's
it's not boasting.
Well, I mean, because you were saying about rap, you know.
Yes, the game though.
But all these female rappers are always into talking about their bottoms, right?
I don't know.
I mean,
They
you
are.
just gotta
It
totally
could be
assets.
Cardi bottom.
Emphasis on the ass.
Could be. It could be.
But anyway.
Cardi butt cheek.
So why don't we just do the podcast on that topic? No.
What, Cardi bum?
Cardi B hind.
So, Cardi be kind to one another.
Hey.
Wow.
So there's this thing I find within Catholic circles and Christian circles where people have this real hang up on being awesome. They are awesome at things, but they're like, no, I'm not awesome. But then it's like, I only do it for God. Like, and you find this with music. It's kind of like, it's like you're really good at guitar. It's like, no. It's like, I've seen you in church. It's like, oh no, that's for God. I will pray. I would play guitar in church because that's worship. And like, so when you leave the church, is that not worship?
Right, so can you worship outside of church?
Well, no, like using your talents are a God-given thing.
Yeah.
If you're good at guitar, that's something that God's put in your heart to pursue and be good at. So surely every time you do it, it should be for God, right?
Yeah.
It was like when I'm in church, I'm playing guitar for God. When I'm outside of church,
I'm playing for Satan.
God Beelzebub.
Right. So there's a
It's really Cardi
problem,
B.
at least with Kiwi Catholics, is that what we're saying? Or just,
Well,
I think that's
I wouldn't limit it to Kiwi.
not just Catholics either, right?
sometimes
I thought
Filipinos are
Kiwis.
like that too.
Yeah, it's a big thing in New Zealand. I've experienced.
Right.
Because I feel like in the UK, it's different. Everyone thinks they're amazing, and if you're not amazing, especially if you didn't become amazing overnight, don't even bother trying.
Right.
Is a underlying feel in England, but in New Zealand it's like
That whole poppy syndrome thing, right?
Tall poppy syndrome, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to the States to live for a year, I was kind of dumbfounded at how confident
What
people
state were you
were. Michigan.
liquid gas. It's a pretty solid state.
Moving on.
You're in Michigan.
I was kind of dumbfounded at the amount of confidence that a lot of my friends had, not just for, I guess, like accepting praise, but also for putting themselves out there. And it wasn't until I got back from the United States that I started getting into the idea of trying to put myself out there, maybe in terms of music, or in terms of a podcast, or just anything. Like
Yeah.
having permission to be confident, I think, is a big thing that not just Kiwis, but a lot of people struggle with. And
Yeah,
so I think it sometimes takes a galvanizing experience for people to be like, oh wow, like they see a role model that they look up to who's
Yeah.
able to do it well. And I
Yeah.
guess from a Catholic perspective, that's someone who's able to be humble at the same time.
Yeah, well, because there's something that I learned at university of like there was a lot of people that were like kind of like falsely humble, and it's like in that they wouldn't, if anyone said anything good about them, they'd immediately shoot it down. And I realized how unhelpful that was, and so I kind of trained myself in like being able to talk about what I can do. And so it's like you know, often with music or singing or organizing something, it's like, you know, can you do this? Yeah, I can. And then people are, all right, you can do it, can you? It's like, well, does it need to be done? It's like, yeah, well, I'm going to do it then. Like, oh, yeah, okay. And so, and I find that, like, that's, people often find me, what's the word?
Attractive.
Beautiful, amazing. No, there's another one.
Annoying.
Like, yeah, kind of annoying, you know, audacious.
Audacious, yeah,
Is
that's
that
a good
the
one.
word? Is that the word?
Yep.
Like, kind of
like taking opportunities that...
yeah, just like in your face all the time. It's like, well, at the same time, no one else is doing it, and it needs to be done.
Yeah.
It's like, and like, because one thing I'm trying to work on is like doing more photography.
Yeah.
And like, no one's gonna know that I do photography if I don't advertise it, right?
Yeah.
So I need to tell people that I do photography. I need to create a page and say, this is what I'm good at. This is how good I am. And it's like, oh, so you think you're good? It's like, well, I enjoy myself when I do it, and people have told me they like it. So yeah, I think I'm good.
Well, my friend was saying to me, like, humility means... Well, this was, like, the most kind of informative definition of humility for me. Because I was that guy. Like,
You're a guy?
I mean, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
imagine.
don't, like... I mean, I'm not that good. Like, she's really, like, praise God.
Right,
Like, I did this thing.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Hey, I'm trying my best, man. Cardi B coming up. Anyway, so... yeah, my friend was like, humility is just telling the truth. It's like, you don't say, I'm like the best, because like, maybe we're not the best, but it's like, yeah, I'm like good at singing
But
or whatever.
Yeah, and so I guess that's the question is, what is this concept that we have in our heads that makes promoting yourself too much wrong? As in, like, if we are Christians and we kind of want to base our beliefs and our things on Christ's actions, then what is it about Christ's life that was the example for us not promoting ourselves too much or
Well, I suppose if you look
blowing
at,
our own trumpet?
if you look at Jesus, every time he created a miracle, he says, "Don't tell anyone."
Yeah, that's right.
Literally, it's like, no, "Don't tell anyone." And then,
Why did he do
But that was the best strategy because then they went and told everyone.
He was a good marketing.
He was a great marketer.
Just
Jesus.
like-
Well, I
First
think
of all-
because he didn't want them to know because he wasn't ready to reveal that he was, you know,
He wasn't ready to
that he was God.
but he was going to reveal it at some point.
Well, yeah, but I think he was waiting for the, you know, the cross. No, because there was he did change over. He started calling himself Son of Man.
Right, but if we, something that just came to mind was a scripture where it says, if you're praying, for example, do it in your bedroom, because
Don't let having a right know what you're doing it.
yeah,
You got that right.
Well, I don't know.
Don't let your
What's
left
that
hand know.
like the Northern
That's the
England
Cardi B version.
translation?
No,
Don't let
just,
them.
yeah, I was just trying to rap it. No, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing.
What
Yeah.
is your right hand doing right now?
Well, you're on my left hand, so I'm not.
Oh well, I wish I was. I don't even know what that means. But anyway. No, but if Jesus kind of talks a
Why?
bit about humility in the sense that, yeah, do the stuff, pray for sure, pray, but don't like don't make everyone know about it, because the problem that the Pharisees had was they were like amplifying
Yeah.
their amazingness.
And I suppose what we get into is like, what are you doing the thing that you're good at for? Why are you doing that thing? It's like, are you doing it because I want to be the world's greatest, you know, photographer or painter or guitarist?
the very best,
Like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. Now, if that was
she would be the blue team Rocket.
Who was like a...
James.
James.
You have blue hair, just like
Yeah.
one of the people from Team Rocket.
Oh,
Anyway,
But like, you know, I mean,
off
if
track.
we wrote that in a different way, it's like I will be the humblest that no one ever
Wait,
notices.
so...
la la la.
But like, didn't Jesus like say that you should use the talents anyway? So like, if you're hiding, like, the false humility
What, the parable of the
thing
talents?
is like the guy who hides his coin because he's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not that much. You know, I'm just gonna
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Whereas
if you're
the
gonna-
guy with the 10 was the audacious one.
Yo,
Audacious.
I got 10. I'm gonna make 20. Like, he
Yeah.
hustled.
He's
He did
awesome.
hustle.
He hustled. You gotta be a hustler.
He
You're
used his
careful,
talents,
man.
he used his gifts, and that's, I guess, so the question is, where's the middle line?
Well, I think you don't want to cross over onto boasting. Self-promotion can't become boasting. Are we going to do the Siri thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what is boasting? Let's try and define what boasting is.
Hey Siri, define boasting. Nope, didn't work.
Didn't work.
1 second.
Just wait a second,
Define.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Technical error.
Check the display
Oh,
on
shut
the
up.
Why are we doing
Define boasting.
As a verb, it means talk with excessive pride and self-satisfaction about one's achievements, possessions, or abilities. Do you want to hear the next one?
No. So,
So talking about your positions.
possessions.
Or possessions.
Yeah.
Where's the line?
Well, it's that excessive pride.
How? When?
And so,
where's
so
the
well,
excess?
well, the difference is the change of vision. So it's kind of like, I really enjoy photography, and the reason I want to promote myself is because I want to do more photography. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy doing, and it's expressing something of myself.
Right.
If I change it around, it's like, I've got the best camera on the market. I can take the most amazing photos. And it's like, it's no longer about something I enjoy doing. It's about how good the thing is.
Right.
And so I think what the disposition we should have is, not putting, our talent as the end, but God as the end. Our talent is a thing that is being ourselves to the fullest.
yeah.
Living life to the fullest and living in abundance is that kind of like, I love doing music. I'm going to get really good at doing music, and I'm going to do music. Or I really love doing art. I'm going to learn how to do all the art, and then I'm going to be the best artist.
Right.
And then it's like, and then it's doing that.
Yeah.
Because if you read the Old Testament, or you read, like, even you look at church history, people, if they were going to do something for God, they were going to, like, do the crap out of it. They were going to do it so well. Michelangelo's painting,
Yeah.
even the Israelites, when they were making stuff for the temple, they had whole families that were devoted to just making gold and whatever it was, And it was like, if you're going to do something for God, then do it, like, better than anyone else can. And that's, like, I guess in a way, the calling of a Christian artist. So one thing that's a pet peeve of mine, and something that I've noticed in myself for a while, I was like, man, I got to stop doing that, was, because I have this Instagram account at Reinhardt Music. Just put a little plug there.
RINEHART.
No,
Self-promotion.
But I realized, I was like, oh man, I've got to, kind of just promote it a bit more. Take more photos, post some stuff about what I'm doing. And so I started putting up these photos of, like, it might be I'm sitting there and there's a guitar, and I'm like, oh, photo of a guitar. I'm like, the caption might not even be anything to do with me making music. It's just like, I do music, that's what I do. But then I realized how dumb it was when I came across some dude's, another one, he had like 1,000 followers or 2,000 followers. I looked at his page, I'm like, yeah, let's see what this guy's about, we're in a similar field and whatever. And it was just a bunch of photos of him with a guitar, like photo shoots of a dude with a guitar on railroad tracks with an amplifier. And I'm like searching through this guy's music page looking for the music. I'm like, where is the music?
Wow.
And at that point I was like, man, I've started doing it myself. I've started like posting photos of me with a guitar and being like, just thinking about ideas for a song. But it's like, if I'm never actually putting the real music out there, or if my first priority is not the music itself for God, then it's like, and I think that's, with the internet, that's become such a platform for new artists, is great, but at the same time it's led to that kind of thing, these kind of fake people, like you could just get anyone and put a guitar in their hands.
Right.
Yeah, I have that same, I don't know, it's like a really tough thing. Like, I have like two thoughts. So that whole kind of doing the crap out of you, whatever you're good at. It's kind of like, what helps me is that to know that what we have are gifts that are given. Like, so if someone gave you a gift and it was really cool, like, you'd want to use it all the time, right? Like, and then if someone's like, yo, it's a real cool pair of socks, and you're like, bruh, like,
Been
my
wearing
sister
them for
gave them
1
to me,
week.
it's so good. Yeah, and like, so I always get in trouble if I think that, like, my gift, for example, for music, is like mine alone, and I'm like, oh crap, like, it's mine, like, I don't want people to, you know what I mean? But if it's something to be shared, first of all, then I'm like, oh sweet, so it's like not just mine, like, I should really like use my gift because then it'll be shared with other people, not to like kind of build my brand up, I guess. I mean, that's not a bad thing, but it's like, but also if people, I don't know, if it might be different with other people, but this is how I've found kind of peace with promotion, is that like it's not about me, like it's not just about me, like it's about the people that enjoy the gift as well, and it's the more I use it, the more I will glorify God, because
and the more you refine it too.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if I think about like my end as myself, and like how can I use my gift to get me 1 million followers? Should I write songs about liking
like
those
Cardi B
Gucci
songs?
flip-flops that look like socks? Just, you know, that's one of the lines from that song.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Well, and two things come to mind. It's like, you know, a quote from Martin Luther, which I always quote. The shoe thing. It's like Christian Shoemaker doesn't make shoes with crosses on. He makes good shoes, and it's about that. It's like his trade is the shoes. So I'm going to actually make the best shoes ever, as if I'm making them for Jesus himself. And so again, it's not about the image.
Yeah.
It's not about the. I mean, I think like again with the music industry and stuff, and like with the social media generation that we're in, there is a little bit of image, but let the image be not I but Christ in me. And so they see the products. And there's a talk by Denzel Washington, and he was talking about how to be a good actor, don't be on every Facebook page, don't be on every TV channel. Be a really good actor. Let the work speak for itself, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's the other thing of like
that's what your music thing was talking about.
What true humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less.
Yeah.
Thank you, C.S. Lewis.
And that's C.S. Lewis.
Yeah.
Good. So it's you know, focusing on, if you're focusing on your trade, on your talent, on your skill, that's God, because God gave you that.
Sorry, it wasn't actually C.S. Lewis. His quote was from Mere Christianity. He said, "The key to humility is not to think less of yourself, but it's to essentially, yeah." He's like, we know that we're starting to be humble when we just, or the trick is to not even consider oneself. Whew, in that sense, not even considering oneself. I am interested, before we end this podcast, in talking about false humility a bit more, because I think my reflections on it, coming from a long history of when I was like 15, I was asked to lead worship for my community in my church, like back home. And so from a very early age, I had people coming up, they were like, "Oh, you're so good at, you know, playing guitar, or you're so good at leading worship." And, you know, because it was a Christian role, my response would often be like what I thought was an appropriate Christian response, which is like, "Oh no, I'm not good, like, glory to God," you know, kind of thing. Like, no, I suck. But then I thought, when you say that to somebody who's just complimented you, so someone says to you, "Shana, you're the most amazing musician I've ever seen," and you say, "No, I'm crap, I suck." It's like, what you're doing there is not just you know, like some kind of false humility, but you're actually terrible at turning your phone off. No,
I know.
Kidding.
Sorry.
But you're actually saying to them, "Hey, I know that you think I'm really amazing, but actually, like, I actually know more about the industry that I'm in, for instance, music, and I know that I'm not very good, you know, in relation to," if that's what you're saying.
You're not qualified to make
it. Yeah, so it actually puts them down further by saying, "Hey, I know that you think you have an opinion on what a good musician is, but you don't. But I'm still better than you."
My teacher said something like similar, because I struggle with this a lot. So like I was playing it like an assembly, and then he goes, "Hey, that was really awesome." And then I was like, no, it was bad, whatever. And then he's like, "Are you calling me a liar?" And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to call you a liar, but like, what, did I just call you a liar?"
Oh man.
So that's since year 8, man. That's just like haunted me. You know?
There we go.
Now the teacher hates me. Just kidding.
And I think there's no shame in being the best at something.
Yeah.
Although we often put a lot of shame in that. It's like, if someone's like, because if you meet someone that's amazing, you're not like, "Ugh, he's so amazing." You're like, "Wow, he's so amazing."
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And like that. and so like I think, you know, unless and if someone comes up to you and says, "I'm so amazing," your first reaction is like, probably not. And you know, maybe, you know, that's, you know, it's like, well, prove it to me. And if you are, then, you know,
right.
So
it's like,
but
it's like the whole like being cool thing. If you have to say we're in the cool team, you're probably not cool.
Yeah.
Or if you had to say this is original, then it's probably not.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
like I think with the false humility thing, getting back onto that, I think it is a real struggle that I see people have like during in like Christian circles, because like there is this whole emphasis on no, I've only got to give my glory to God. I've got to give everything to God, and but like God made us human. God gave us bodies. He gave us emotions. He gave us these things, and it's like so like there's Paul tells us to pray ceaselessly in the scriptures, and that doesn't mean 24/7 down on your knees, hands together, eyes closed. It means engaging with each other, like in relationship.
Right.
And like as you say, if every time someone compliments you put them down, that's not glorifying God. And if you're playing your instrument really well and you're glorifying God through that, glorify God by when someone says you're really good, say thank you, and if you have to, it's like for Jesus.
It can actually be a lot harder just to say a simple
Those 2 words.
thank you.
Yep.
You're amazing. You're an amazing photographer, Dom.
Oh, cheers.
You didn't say thank you.
Cheers means the same thing.
Okay. So
and like I was just thinking of Philip Neri, Saint Philip Neri, and he had this thing of like he didn't want people to worship him. I think he's amazing, but like he accepted compliments. But every time he found someone was being a bit too like obsessive about it,
right,
he would then do something really stupid. So then they would change his opinions, like because there is that line as well of kind of like someone thinks you can't do any wrong. It's like that's not right for them. Yeah, and I suppose there might be a bit of onus on us to be like, okay, I'm still a human, and sometimes actions will speak louder than words. So, but I think actions speaking louder than words is actually a pretty good sentiment for this whole thing.
And I think you can generally see when somebody is self-obsessed or
totally.
Right, it's like by your fruits you shall see them, and sometimes maybe as well we might be tempted to actually, like I know I am tempted to judge someone and be like, that person has to be up themselves. Like just there's a certain priest, I won't mention his name, but he's like young and attractive and has all these tattoos, and I might have talked about him before, but he's always like, it feels like he's like, see this tattoo? It says humility. And I just come from the gym, and I'm about to go for a run, and then I'm going to go swimming later, and then get another tattoo. And I'm like, shut up. Like, if you want to do humility, then do it. Don't take a photo of your tattoo and then try and use it as I don't know. Yeah. That's just not my style, man.
It's like saying, like, here's me being humble, everybody have a look. And like another thing that winds me up is these social experiments. So, like, look at us being really nice to homeless people.
Oh, my gosh.
But what's happening is, my favourite one, which I thought was hilarious, is, like, these people go up to a homeless guy, and give him a pizza. First off, they go into a pizza restaurant, and just go to random people and say, hey, can I have a slice of your pizza? And everyone's like, no. Obviously.
Who are you?
Yeah. And then they go up to a homeless man, give him a pizza, and then walk away, and then one of their mates comes up and asks for the pizza. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, have some pizza. And it's like, so you just bought a pizza for a homeless man and taken it away from him, and now, oh wow, homeless people are amazing and we're so good. It's like, no. It's like, A, he didn't buy that pizza, he was given that pizza, so of course it's easier to give him away. B, those people in the restaurant, they're hungry. They bought a pizza because they wanted to eat food. You're just some random kid walking up to them.
Yeah, like it's constructed. And I guess if our faith ever becomes that, or because we've talked a lot about boasting in our occupations or our skills, but we haven't even really mentioned that just like when people tell you you're attractive, or when people tell you just something that you are as opposed to something that you do is really praiseworthy. It's like, well, how do you then, like, that's a whole situation. Like if you've ever, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know, like someone might go to a girl and be like, oh, you're so pretty, like, oh, you're like someone, like, Shani, you're so pretty. And
I'm just like a not words of affirmation person. I get it's really hard for me.
You just clam up.
Yeah, I told one of our students before, I was like, you know what I do? I just say thank you and I walk away. Because I'm like, I can't be there. I gotta like, because I know I'm gonna be like,
Shani, you're pretty.
Why? But I'm learning, man. I'm learning. So.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll catch you later.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a real upstanding citizen. Like, I don't even know how to take that. Thanks, I guess. You know.
Well, like, you're a really devout Catholic. And
Really smart.
You know, and even knowing how to take that kind of praise in a way that's, or knowing how to use your particular discipline in something, like saying the rosary every day faithfully, to inspire someone, not to boast about it or make them feel guilty about it.
Well, I actually had a situation where I run a Bible study every week, and then someone was like, "You're really good at the Bible study. Come and run one for us." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know what to do. I don't know what to do." It's because, like, again, it's like, I guess it's like thing. It's like, I don't write the Bible. The Bible, I'm just telling you what the Bible says, you know. So yeah, you know, it was pretty weird for me. But yeah, I guess that's kind of what you're talking about. Hey, it's like, because, you know, I view the Bible study as just being a source of, like, a kind of extension of my prayer.
Maybe it's like different for other people, because I don't know. I don't know.
But the camera is kaput.
All right.
Yeah. So that's about.
Well, I think, you know, to conclude, I mean, I think, you know, being humble is a real thing, and it's, you know, again, I think something that really helps me is that quote that may or may not have been said by C.S. Lewis. You know, it's not to think less about yourself, but to think about yourself less. And it's about, in thinking about yourself less, it's about thinking about what God's giving you more, and actually being really, really enjoying it. And if that means sharing it with people through social media, through self-promotion, by all means, but we don't want it to fall into that either side, either into boasting of, look how amazing I am because I've got the greatest guitar and I'm the best at guitar, or photography, or whatever your skills, or Bible study, or praying, or whatever. Nor do we want to fall into the other side of, like, you know, I've just done a gig, everyone seemed to enjoy themselves, and no, but I'm rubbish, I'm not very good at all. And so I think, with self-promotion is a good healthy balance. Yeah. But I think it needs to be held not in your skill as the end, but as God as the end.
I've got like just if there's like 1 or 2 seconds.
Just close it up.
So I don't know if it's best, but like, you guys should try and pray the Litany of Humility.
Oh wow!
Because like it's hard hitting, but I think if you keep praying that, and I do, like usually say before like a gig or something, because that kind of, I think humility is freedom to do what you were meant to do, to like use the gifts that God's given you without the fear of being loved.
Preach it.
And also the fear of being hated. So it's like you're just free to do whatever because there's only an audience of one anyway. So.
Damn.
Oh, Cardi B!
And you ruined it. Thank you for joining us for this podcast.
Yes.
Today. Please join us next week or whenever we post a next podcast.
Yes.
Like, share, and subscribe.
God bless.
God bless.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. I've got good news. It just got a whole lot easier to search for us online.
All you gotta do is search Gregorian Chat into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and Player FM for those who are on Android.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you later. God bless.